Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a Riparium planter. I'm doing a 10-gallon Riparium Aquascape, and I was looking at the different planters that they had online. That was like a weird thing. They're kind of shaped like this. The ones I found looked like they were fairly well built, but they were like 2 by 2 inches, and it was for a single plant, and they were $20 for 2 of them. So obviously I didn't like that very much, so I decided to design my own and make my own, and I think it's a much better planter than the ones that I found online or anything I've seen on a forum or any other design plans anyone's had. This one is going to be virtually, you're not going to be able to see it at all. It's going to look like the back of the tank, and it's going to hold a lot more soil. But yeah, now I'm going to get into showing you the materials and the basically instructions on how to build one of these for yourself. So for materials, most of this is just black acrylic. Obviously, to bond it together, you're going to need some weld-on or whatever this stuff is. I ordered this on, I guess I'm going to show you. It's Wovok, whatever, SCI grip, Sci grip, weld-on. This is weld-on 16. This is like a thicker one. I didn't want to buy the weld-on 4, this is just acrylic cement. So there's weld-on 16 and weld-on 4, which are the two common ones. Weld-on 4 is like water viscosity, so you have to use like a needle, and I didn't want to worry about buying a needle and all that stuff. So I just used this. This is syrupy, kind of like silicone, so it's easy to work with. But yeah, you're going to need that. And for tools, I still have to drill these out for like ventilation, not ventilation, but flow to go through it, because you want flow going through a substrate to keep it healthy. So for that, you're going to need a drill. For cutting all this out, you're going to need a measuring tape to measure all your stuff, a straight edge to draw your lines, a pen or something. I leave this on here and don't take it off until I'm actually gluing it all together. Drill bits for the drill, and then a jigsaw with a wood blade is what I use. I use my jigsaw on the smoothest setting it had, and on the like a medium to low speed, and that went right through. Like, as you can see, this is a pretty straight edge, and that's all cut with the jigsaw. Came out pretty well. But yeah, so now I'm going to drill all this stuff out and show you how I did that, or show you where I drilled, and then I'm going to glue it all together, and then I'm going to mock it up in the tank for you. Alright, so everything is drilled now. These are the two middle pieces that are kind of just slotted on the top. The bottom part will be open, obviously. There will be a lot of flow coming underneath. So I just slotted the top to just kind of make it a little bit easier. But the sides, I'm kind of just winging a lot of this, but that's how the sides are drilled. Not much on the bottom. The main piece has these two rows with just, like a column. Goes across the top. And then the bottom, this is where the substrate is probably going to come up to, so I just kind of just randomly drilled to let that substrate and the substrate behind here kind of work together, and I thought that would be a really good idea. But yeah, now I'm just gonna glue this all together, and that'll probably take 24 hours to cure, so I won't be able to do anything for the next day on this tank, unfortunately. Alright, so here's what it looks like, all finished up, or mostly finished up. So I need to put these little guys. I just made those. Those are how this is going to be secured in the tank. So these are just little pieces of acrylic, a little chunk with two flat edges and a triangle. The chunk has like those holes drilled into it, because like I said, you can't just acrylic or silicone acrylic onto glass. It doesn't work like that. It won't bond properly, and it'll fall apart over time. So this is going to give us a more mechanical hold. But basically how it works is, this is on this side, so this will be bonded right there, and it's got the little triangle for support. And basically, you're just gonna put a big glob of silicone on the back of this when you put this in the tank, and this will get pressed up against the back, and once that's bonded together, you'll have this like that, and you'll have that piece right there. And once that piece goes in and presses the silicone like firmly up against the glass, the silicone is going to go through these holes and kind of glob up on this other side. So you'll have silicone on this side holding on to the silicone on this side through these little holes, and that's how it's going to be attached to the tank. There's not actually going to be like a suction cups. I don't really like suction cups for this kind of thing. And then So there will be 4 of those little things, and then I'm going to run a bead all the way along the bottom, just kind of like a, not really sure what that would be called, but just kind of a barrier just to hold it in place so when the substrate goes in it doesn't try to pop out because it's only attached to the top. But yeah, I have to wait for these to cure a little bit before I'm, comfortable gluing them onto here. So I'll give those a few more hours to harden up, and then I'll attach those, and then I'll silicone everything in and let everything cure. Alright, so all of these guys are in place. As you can see, if I go from the side, they're kind of slanted, but it's not a huge deal. These can flex and bend just a little bit, and once it's firmly pressed up against here, and I just kind of glob the silicone on there and just use a lot of it, it's not going to be a huge deal. I'm going to be a little bit excessive with the silicone just to make sure I've got a good hold in there. And yeah, I'm going to do that now and show you guys what it'll look like afterwards. Alright, now I'm just using this GE Silicone 1, 100% silicone, waterproof, all that stuff, to kind of goo this stuff into place. Okay. See how that does first. Right there. Perfect. This one's being a little bit of a pain, but okay. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to kind of glob up this side. I'm not really adding more silicone, I'm just kind of mushing it all together and adding just a little bit more, so it all kind of cures together. And I definitely should have brought a clamp to hold this into place while it cures. Okay. This is probably very excessive for the amount of silicone that you actually need for this, but I don't have any paper towels with me to kind of clean any of this up. So I think I'm just gonna hold this for a minute and let it kind of harden up, and then I'm gonna get one of my roommates to hold it so I can go grab a clamp. Alright, so I've got everything in place. I've got clamps in here so I don't have to hold this for 24 hours. But yeah, so obviously very excessive use of silicone on my part, but since this is the first time I've ever done this or seen anyone do anything similar to this, I'm gonna do it a little bit excessive and overbuild it. Got the bottom seam. These stones are in the way because once I started clamping this down, it was starting to separate at the bottom a little bit, and I was getting a crack along here, like just a small gap. So I used this rock to press it back into place. But now you can barely see the seam where it hits the glass. But that crack down there was starting to separate. But I'm just using this rock to press it up against firmly, so that's something you might want to do. Use some stones to kind of push it into place. Use clamps up top. You probably, like I said, you probably don't need this much silicone, but this is how I'm doing it. So I'm just gonna let this cure for 24 hours or so. Probably actually, it's a lot of silicone, so it's gonna be a lot more than 24 hours. But yeah, just gonna let this cure, and then I'll probably show you guys what it looks like afterwards. I used the wrong silicone. I was wondering why it wasn't turning clear, and it's white silicone. So obviously, you want GE silicone 1, 100% silicone, but you want this to say clear. Mine does not say clear, so I have white silicone. which isn't a huge deal, but it's extremely annoying because I spent so much time designing all this stuff, and then when I install it, it looks like crap. But it's waterproof, it'll work. It's just annoying because when the substrate is not in there, it looks like, obviously, like I said, it looks like crap. Substrate's gonna hide this and hide that bead, so it's not really a big deal, it's just annoying. So make sure you buy clear silicone. But yeah, that's it for this one. Hopefully you guys like the Riparium planter, and hopefully you guys can use it to your advantage in your own tanks. I thought about building these to sell and kind of market them, but because there's nothing like this on the market, and this is the best thing that I've seen, in my opinion, I like it a lot compared to the other planters I've seen in the market, but I figured it would be cooler just to teach you guys how to do it yourselves. But yeah, that's the end of this one. Next video is going to be actually aquascaping the Riparium. So obviously it's going to be a Riparium, but two things you guys don't know, it's going to be blackwater, so it's the first one I've done of that, and I don't know how I'm going to arrange the aquascape. So I'm going to be aquascaping kind of on the fly in that video, so it might get a little bit weird because I have a weird process of doing things. And yeah, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you guys can use this video to make your own Riparium planters. Hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section. Peace.